Oh look, it's another Reddit silver purchase. Hey everyone, Woohoo here, and today I just got a new package of coins in the mail. I paid just over 50 bucks for this World Silver Collection, or lot I guess is the more accurate term to use. And I just want to go through here and see, number one, what I got. I already have a pretty good idea of what I have as I saw the proof pictures, but let's see what I got, how I did, and see if I came out ahead. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Look at all this. Okay, let me get this into a few more manageable piles and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got the coins arranged by country right here. There are 17 coins in all, and I discovered that not all of them are silver, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, as we're gonna find out in a second. Let's start actually over here with the American stuff. Nothing terribly special right here. Let me zoom in so you can get a better look here. 1920 Mercury dime, not in pristine mint condition by any stretch of the imagination. It's a 1920. The mint mark would be somewhere around there, but the rims are so worn away that I'm not sure if there is one even there. So that's nice. 1951 Roosevelt dime. That too is worn a little bit. There's a D mint mark back there, so 1951 D. And rounding things out, this is actually something I don't have in my collection, a Barber quarter, 1909. That looks like a Denver to me right there by that tail feather. And as far as Barber stuff goes, this one actually might be a pretty decent grade. It's got some scratches on it, but a lot of the detail in the eagle feathers is still there. The laurel wreath in the Liberty head is still somewhat visible, which is not always the case on Barber coinage. So I'd say I got a nicer example, not the nicest by any stretch of the imagination, but you got one with a full rim on both sides and a pretty decent amount of detail. So not a bad acquisition there. We're gonna keep a running total of the values to see how I did. 54 and change is the number to beat. So with the dimes, with them being in circulated condition, they melt, and this is based on a $31.99 per ounce silver price. American silver dimes melt for $2.31 a piece, so 231 times 2. And the quarter has a melt value of $5.79. And for those who aren't aware, when I say melt value, that is the value of the silver content of this coin. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to melt these down for that price. So it's just some quick back of the napkin math. That's already 10 bucks and change from just those three coins on silver value alone. Let's go on now to this one right here. This is a Panamanian 5 centésimo coin from 1904. You can see right there, República de Panamá, and Balboa on the front there, 1904. Down below, that familiar Panamanian coat of arms, and it even says right up there, Cinco centésimos de Balboa. And we can see right here, it's 90% silver. That's what that ley 0.900 means. It's a rather interesting coin. This is also one that I do not have in my collection, so that's neat for that reason alone. It has a melt value on it of $2.32, which is about the same as an American dime. I believe it's roughly the same size. Let's compare this to the Mercury dime we just had. Not that we can really tell through the flip there, but looks to me like they're about the same size. I don't know, it's kind of tough to judge with coins in flips like that. But yeah, $2.32 melt. I looked at some eBay listings before I recorded this section of the video, and I'm noticing that these coins are regularly selling for anywhere between like $5 and $10. So just to be on the conservative end of things here, if I sold this on eBay, I could probably get about $5 for this coin, I would say. So that's actually not too bad. All right, let's move on to a couple of the non-silver pieces here. In fact, the only two non-silver pieces. This is a coin that's rather interesting. Indochine Française, 5 centimes from 1938, French Indochina. This is nickel silver in composition, but there's no actual silver in the coin. I have one like this from a different year, if I'm not mistaken, and that example is in slightly better condition than this one is, I'd say. The bits of the cornucopia are worn away here, but you still have a decent detail laurel wreath on the head up there. Not the cleanest example by any stretch of the imagination. I'm seeing sold listings on eBay of this coin going for about $2.50 to $3 individually. So just call this $2.50. I mean, I think I'd be pretty lucky to get that much. So we'll call it about $2.50 about that. And that'll be the name of that tune. Rather interesting coin, if you ask me. The other non-silver piece in this collection that I bought is this one right here, a 1918 Tunisia 10 centimes coin from the French Protectorate era. And that would be the text in Arabic on the back with the year in the Hijri calendar, if I'm not mistaken. I can't quite remember what that corresponds to. I want to say 1228 or something like that, but you can clearly see a number 10 in Arabic numerals just out here. 10 centimes from 1918, and I saw this coin going for about $2 to $4 on eBay. So, and this example is, I mean, it's a pretty decently struck example, maybe lightly circulated. I'm going to go ahead and put a value of about $2 on this. That's if I'm lucky, I think. All right. Still a little bit to go here. Let's go to this one right here. This is 50 Euro from 1946. I wonder if this one was previously stuck on something with a bit of sticky tack, hence the discoloration in the center there. It's from Sweden, as that would suggest right there. And I looked this one up. It has a melt value of $1.98. I believe it was 40% silver, if I'm not mistaken. There's a wide range on eBay for this one, maybe $1 to $5. I'll just say $2 to make the math easier on myself. That's roughly the melt value as it is for something like this. Moving right along. This one. It's a 20 centavos coin from 1920 from Mexico. It's in pretty terrible shape, if you ask me. Not the cleanest example, but it is still 72% silver. And my back of the napkin math shows a melt value of about $2.47 on this example. I don't think in the condition that it's in, it would be worth any more than that, frankly. So we'll call it $2.50 just to make the math easier on myself. What have we got here? This one says Ceylon, 10 cents, 1927. Very, very tiny coin. We see George V on the obverse there. Ceylon, of course, would eventually become Sri Lanka. I have to look this one up because I am not entirely sure. I've never seen this coin before. Let me do a little bit of research on this one and I will be right back. All right, so I figured out that this is 55% silver, a rather unusual percentage if you ask me. The melt value on this would be 66 cents, but I saw some eBay listings for this coin go for about $4 or $5. Now that is of a much nicer example than this one appears to be. There was one from a different year, but about the same condition as this one that went for a little bit less, maybe like $1 to $2. So I'm gonna split the difference and say $1.50 on that one. All right, let's go to Canada next with this pile of coins right here. This, if I can get the lighting to work with me here, we have a Canadian dime from 1908, Edward VII on the front of this. And you can see right there, 1908. This is one of the lower minted examples of the particular date run. You can see right there, 776,000 and change. But this coin is worn slick, especially on the obverse there. And now that I'm looking at it some more, I suspect it may have even been cleaned at some point. Don't clean your coins, folks. That'll destroy any value on them. So in order to, I was looking up some grading standards. In order to have, in order to meet the very good, the VG grade, which is on the lower end of the scale, you have to have a full rim. Now, it has the full rim more or less on the reverse, but on the obverse, not even close. Melt value on this one is $2.21. With it being this worn, I'd hesitate to go any higher than that, even if it is a better date in the grand scheme of things. But maybe you all can tell me in the comments if I'm off on that evaluation. So we'll call that 2 1/4, roughly. We have, by the way, I forgot to mention on this one, sterling silver, 92.5% silver. They went to a lower percentage of silver later on. As we can see right here, this is an 80% silver quarter from 1960 from Canada with Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. Obviously circulated, but not worn completely slick. Has a melt value of about $4.80. So I think I could probably get away with that price for a circulated example such as this. So $4.80 for that. And then this one, look at the toning on this one. This is a 50-cent piece from 1966, also from Canada. Look at that. Still has some good cartwheeling and some very interesting toning. Absolutely beautiful coin. Melt value on this is $9.70. I suspect I could probably get a little more than that for this example. I don't quite know how much more, to be perfectly honest. We'll call this an even $10, just to be on the conservative side. But yeah, let me know in the comments again if you have a different opinion of my evaluations. So $10 for that. This big old piece of silver right here is something I was actually rather curious about. I didn't know what this was because I only saw this side. I could only guess that it was Israeli by the lettering. But this is a 10 lirot coin from 1970, commemorating the 100th anniversary of something. I'm going to have to do a little more research on that to see what exactly that is. But I'm told that this is 90% silver. Look at this, a little over 3/4 of an ounce of silver at almost $32 an ounce. That has a melt value of $24.15 on its own. And the value range on this one is, $23 to $28 that I'm seeing on eBay. So I'd say this one pretty much jacked the whole value of this lot up significantly. Now, it does have a little bit of a greenish discoloration around the letters there. It's definitely not a pristine mint state example. Well, maybe it is mint state as far as details go, but it's not without its faults. So I'll be a little more generous than melt value and say maybe $25 for this example. There's no major defects on this coin, maybe with the possible exception of that little coloration around the lettering there. But we'll call that $25. And finally, the pile from Australia. We have two 50% silver sixpences, 1954 on the right, 1959 on the left, 50% silver apiece from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Those have a melt value of $1.46 a piece, so we'll call that $3 for the pair of these. I'm just kind of rounding up here. We have an Australian shilling from 1957, also 50% silver. That's actually got some very nice detail on it. Melt value is $2.91. I reckon I could do a little bit better than that given the condition of this coin. So I'm going to put a value of about $4 on this one. I should have done a little bit more research on that, but I mean, it's still got some decent cartwheeling there. And on the reverse, and it's not significantly worn, so I think $4 would be good. Maybe even a little conservative. Again, you all let me know about what you think about that. And finally, 1947 Australian florin, also 50% silver from 1947. They debased the silver from sterling silver after World War II. So 1947, this is a 2 shilling coin, I hasten to add. And melt value on this is $5.82. So let's call that $6 just to make the math a little less of a headache there. So when we total everything up, you can see the total down in the corner there to see how I did. Let me know what you think. Did I do well for this this Reddit purchase? Let me know what you all think in the comments. Which one was your favorite of the coins that I went over in this video? Definitely would appreciate your input and comments, and I'll see you next time when I've got another purchase to go over. And hey, feel free to like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything and even helps the channel too. Thanks so much. See you later.